realized that most people don't realize their most valuable currency is quietly disappearing. It's not money, it's not influence, it's time. And if you're not intentional with how you're using it, someone else is. Someone is watching your time pockets, okay? So this video isn't about productivity hacks. It's not about a list of morning routines or how to crush it at work. It's not even another list of 10 ways to optimize your calendar or use the AI tools. It's for those who have ever felt stuck in your job, overwhelmed by burnout. If you've ever looked at your schedule and thought, is this really it? This is your sign to pause and rethink. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about why most people completely misunderstand their value at work, the fact that no company will ever truly pay you what you're worth, and how to start using your time in a way that builds your actual life, not just someone else's business. So stick with me. I got my little, water with lemon. I'm in Ghana and I'm just eating crazy. So this is my best friend. So stick with me. We'll sip our tea. We will reframe how we see ourselves, our work, and next moves. And let's get something crystal clear. You are the truest asset in every room you walk into. I heard that from Kiki Palmer, and I stand by it. You are the truest asset in every room you walk into. Not your job title, not your resume, and not the logo on your LinkedIn. Yes, I'm looking at you guys who say XXYZ, okay? Not the logo on your LinkedIn. You are. Your ability to solve problems, your intuition, the way you connect dots others miss, your lived experience that no one else on this earth can duplicate. You are the greatest asset. And yeah, most of us, myself included, spend years attaching our identity to companies, to roles, to accolades, waiting for someone else external to us to validate what we already know deep down, that we have value, we bring value. And they validate it in certain ways, right? Because they hire you, but they don't promote you. They hire you, but they don't give you the raise. They hire you and they keep telling you how great your work is, so you should do more work, but they're not helping you achieve your goals. So, something I learned a while ago and something that I'm adamant about teaching and sharing is that you are not your job. You're the talent that makes the job work. And if that sounds obvious, I just want us to take a second and say, why does it feel so easy to forget when the emails start popping in, the Slacks, the requests, all of that, and we forget that we are it? I once watched a brilliant friend and coworker get laid off just like that. And she had just finished a project that brought in a ton of money for the company, but it took her a while to land that. So if you look at her books, it seemed like, she wasn't bringing in revenue. I think it was like for 2 months. So if you look at the quarter, by the end of the quarter, she did bring a lot of money. But if you look at the data, it didn't show that. And it was crazy to me because I was like, oh my gosh. To this day, I'm pretty sure if you go on that company's website, they still talk about how this company is their partner because it's one of the biggest companies in the world. But because she wasn't being as productive as they would have liked in other ways, they said bye-bye. But what she proved was that she knew how to build relationships with customers. She proved that she knew how to bring in money. And she more than paid for her salary. So, like, she was good, but she wasn't doing it the way the company wanted. So, because it wasn't in their story and their timeline, she was let go. And I don't want this to be your story. And I don't want that to be your legacy either. Because if you know you're doing good work and if you know it will pay off, just because we live in an Amazon economy doesn't mean that everything can be shipped overnight. So, even if you're working for someone else right now, I think you should still be negotiating, not just with your boss, but with yourself every day. I wrote an article on Substack called the P&L of your job, the profit and loss of your job, because that's really what it is. What's worth your time now? What's no longer serving you? What are you willing to tolerate temporarily? And what can't come with you into the next chapter? For example, when I worked at a startup, I was willing to do that for 3 years. And what I mean by do that is that I was working like 13, 14-hour days. I was constantly stressed. But what that afforded me was that I learned so much, so much. I pivoted into so many different roles. I was the third person hired. So I was able to go from marketing to UX design, UI research to talent acquisition, operations. I did it all, right? So in that moment, I was willing to tolerate a number of things temporarily, but now in this version of my life I'm in, there's no way that I'm going to work 14 hours for someone else. It just can't work for me, right? But it taught me what it needed to teach me. So the questions I just stated, these are not questions for later, they're questions for right now. And they matter because you see in just a moment that your time is not just valuable, it's leverage. And so many people come to me, or I just hear as well that, well, I'm chasing purpose, I'm chasing passion. And I just want to offer that chasing purpose and passion. I don't think it's in the woo-woo way that we've been taught as children, right? If there's a thought you can't shake, if you want to start a company, rather than jumping straight and saying, "Oh my gosh, I love dogs, let me start a dog walking company," figure out where you're at now and figure out, "Oh, how do I market?" If you can learn from your job right now how you market, I think that's the most important step to learn how you can market so you can open your dog walking shop and market so you can get the dogs in your door to get some profit. But I'm tangentialing, is that a word? Anyways, the thing about purpose is that it keeps coming to you. So the thing that you can't shake, the project that you keep dreaming about, the idea that makes your whole body go, this makes sense. And listen to that. But then once you listen to that, also map out the steps. A side hustle, a creative idea, a total career pivot, or a vision you haven't even put words to yet, but you feel it. Start moving towards it because every decision you make, every hour you give, oh my Lord, every hour you give is either pointing toward that future or pulling you away from it. And that's just a reality. Even if it's indirect, even if it's messy, your time is a map. If you look at and you audit your past month, whatever you paid attention to, whatever you gave your time to is what you want. So if you were working out, that means you want a healthier mind, a healthier body. If you're spending time with friends, if you were sitting on the couch, whatever you look back and you audit your time, whatever you're doing, that's what you want your life to be, right? Because things just compound for better or for worse. Things just compound. So that's why those questions I asked earlier really, really matter because what I'm really asking is what's actually worth your time and what's no longer aligned. Because the dangerous trap is that when we wait until we are ready, waiting until we have a title, the funding, the clarity, the confidence, we will never get it. Because the title comes from you reaching and grabbing it. This is again another tangent, but I just got a message from a client and they pretty much gave me something that I was ready to start fighting for. But I mentioned it briefly a few weeks ago that, hey, I've been doing this work and this is where I think I'm going. And something else happened. I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity for me to slip in. And I spent, the holiday season, today's January 6th, I spent the holiday season like writing out this whole thing about how I'm going to fight for myself. And I do still need to put some strategy behind it. But they just reach out and be like, yo, obviously you're the perfect fits for this. So people don't give you titles, you ask for them. People don't give you funding, you ask for it. You do not get clarity from thinking, you get clarity from doing. And same thing for confidence. And bro, I learned that in such a hard way. Like we're not even gonna get into it, but I digress. Back to the video. These things come after you move. I've seen it again and again in my own life and way in working with clients and my friends and family. Things come after you move and people stay stuck in jobs that drain them while your real work, your real magic, it stays paused, it stays hidden, it stays locked up in the name of responsibility, in the name of the perfect time. But responsibility and purpose, these are not your enemies. The other day, I didn't go to church. My grandmother said, "Are you fighting with God?" I said, "Nah, just me and God. We got our own line of communication." Your responsibilities and your purpose have their own line of communication. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It really doesn't. You can build both. And the secret is seeing your time as more than just minutes on a calendar. It's the currency you're investing in your future, honestly. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you why that future won't be funded by a corporation, no matter how good that paycheck looks. So let's bust a big myth real quick. The idea that a job is going to pay you what you're worth, impossible. I don't remember what credit card this was, but I think it was MasterCard. It would be like, mug, $10, lemon, $2, water, $1. Your gut health, priceless. Yeah, I hope y'all still watching this video. Anyway, it's the same energy, right? Because it's like the thing that makes you whole and well and healthy, that makes you human, that you always priceless. And I'm not saying that, this means like let's all be billionaires kind of way or demand like 500K for entry level work kind of way, right? What I'm saying is because there's no salary on this planet that can fully compensate you for your creativity, your emotional labor, your intuition, your lived experience, and personal growth. You are literally priceless. And there's no spreadsheet for your soul. There's just like no line item that can ever capture your soul, your you-ness. So if you ever expect a company to recognize all of that and compensate you accordingly, you're going to be disappointed every single time. And it's not even because all of them are like evil, money hungry. Ugh. It's because corporations don't run on worth. They run on business, and business runs on profit. And you're not yourself at work, even though we're in an authenticity era. Like you're truly not yourself at work. You're your output, whatever you're able to produce, your productivity, your ability to reduce costs or increase revenue. And quite frankly, at this point, I don't even think that's even like necessarily evil anymore. It's just how business works. When you apply for a job, when you sign a contract, that is the contract you're signing up for. I'm exchanging my brilliance for this dollar amount, and this dollar amount is not your totality. Which then brings me to some other points. So let me get there. Because when you stop seeing your job as a thing that's supposed to fulfill you and make you whole, and you start seeing it as a tool, a platform, a training ground, everything shifts. Because the real question isn't, do they value me? It's, how am I using this time to build value for myself? And when you start seeing time that way as currency, as leverage, that's when you stop feeling stuck because there's a whole runway. So I'll show you actually to do that. I have like 3 points that I want to get to. Because even when you have a boring job or a job that you've pretty much checked out of, leaning into where you are right now might be the launch pad you don't realize you needed. And I'm not going to hold y'all. I can't share too much because, life. But I had a job that I really was just like, nah, this ain't it. But a number of years removed from it, I am so grateful for that job, that boss. Oh my gosh, I learned so much. So much. And I swear my current boss is getting all the benefits from it. My current clients are getting all the benefits from it because I had to just work and figure shit out in that job and it worked out. So with that said, not every job is your forever. Sometimes the job is so you can learn a tool or the job is a tool. And I like to see jobs as trade school, as apprenticeships, as paid practice. You're getting paid to practice to learn what you need to do to accomplish your life goals. So again, even if you've checked out for a number of valid reasons, learning something that can be used later is not wasted. So I just implore you to ask yourself, what am I getting better at solving here? What patterns am I seeing more clearly? What skills am I stacking that the market will reward down the line? That's what leverage looks like. That's when we have all these conversations about AI and everything else. This, because when I stop looking at jobs as a corporate cage and started seeing it as a stepping stone, I stopped feeling stuck. Every role became a rep. Every task became a test. Even the stuff I hated, I was learning something from it. It was teaching me something. So Malcolm Gladwell says 10,000 hours. I've put in my 10,000 hours in so many ways in the same thing. That's why I love talking about workforce development and future of work and stuff, because I've put in my 10,000 hours in nonprofits and government jobs and tech jobs, SaaS jobs, all of it. Because when you start treating your time like leverage, not just the hours traded for dollars, you start moving more strategically. You build your future from the inside out. Okay, you spent 15 minutes with me. Let me get into why you're here. I'm going to walk you through the actual system that made that mindset shift real. Not viral advice, just real strategy. 3 steps, super clear, life changing if you take them seriously. There's a system that makes all of this real, not a viral one, not a shiny one, a system that actually works if you're honest and consistent. Step one, number one, radical honesty. You have to be real with yourself, not the version of you that looks good on paper, the version of you that knows what kind of life you actually want, the thing that you're even scared to admit out loud. Like a lot of us say the surface level stuff because it seems good and everyone else wants it, but for real, what do you want? What makes you feel good? For me, I very early in my career, I worked in the government. I passed all my tests, which means I had a pension. I had all these safety stuff. And I had to admit to myself that the government work didn't align with who I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. Then I went to a startup and I realized the startup culture didn't align for me either. And I realized that my sweet spot is a scale up. And if you want me to explain that more, I can in another video. The scale up aligns with my life, right? I knew I wanted to create something beyond a job, to become a translative experience. I wanted to turn everything I learned in government, ed tech, SaaS, and workforce development into something bigger than a title. That clarity didn't show up overnight. It took trial and error. I funded the future with my present, my time, my money. I reinvested income into experiments. Some worked, some flopped, but all of it moved me forward. Okay, so step one was radical honesty. Step two is discipline and professionalism. This one gets overlooked, especially in this day and age, mainly because the corporations we work for have stopped being professional. At some point, layoffs used to be a bad thing, and now they're like the way of work. But I digress. But hear me, you can double your rate by just being someone people trust. On time, clear, calm under pressure. You don't have to be a genius if people know you deliver. Talent, smartness, whatever, without professionalism, it gets passed over. Because no one wants chaos. They want consistency. As much as you don't want to be there, they don't want to be there either. So if everyone gets their stuff done, you don't have to chase nobody, bam, I'm gonna hire you again. All right. So we've gone over radical honesty, we've gone over discipline and professionalism. Number three, awareness. Know that the game you're in, know what the market rewards, and know how to move inside the system without losing yourself. For me, that meant getting visible. LinkedIn alone has landed me jobs, speaking gigs, contracts, all from sharing my thinking and showing my process. So you don't necessarily have to be everywhere, but you do have to be findable. And these 3 steps I just outlined, honesty, honesty, professionalism, and awareness, they're not like fancy things. And you're probably like, yeah, duh. But they are how to stop being stuck and start building something that's yours. Sometimes the biggest thing standing between us and the life we want is us. I know it was me. The fear, the overthinking, the what ifs. But listen, you're here right now, which means there's still time to shape what comes next. So take the honesty, use the discipline, build the awareness. Your time matters, your energy matters. You're not crazy for wanting more. You are right. Okay? Get what you deserve. And if this resonated with you, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Share this with someone who needs it. Or hit me up if you're ready to go deeper and work together. Use your time like it matters because it absolutely does.